Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Devil May Cry 4 on Legendary Dark Knight mode. This is Mission 12, A New Beginning. And we have a new character as we start here in the Ascension Chamber. So, about this section, I will say that I died more in this chapter than I have died on the entire campaign leading up to this chapter with Nero. However, it's not hard. Now, you might ask yourself, well, if it's not hard, why did you die so many times? It's because I just took control of this character, and he has so many attacks and movesets, and you have to cycle through 3 guns and 3 melee weapons that add that to my general rustiness of not being in control of this character for a long time. The drive is wonderful. Great move. Swordmaster, right bumper, back, and then hold the B button to charge it. So, let me turn the music down a little bit because I don't want YouTube to find that one. It's a pretty popular tune in the background. So, there is no boss in this chapter, which is a good thing. You know, it's a new character. Perhaps we don't need a boss this early on in our new campaign. But if you don't want to do this fight, don't do it. You can skip it. Now, the only thing about Dante that we can take comfort in is that he has overpowered moves. 2 of which that immediately come to mind well, the first one is the Devil Trigger Distortion, which, if you have it activated before you actually do it, I think you actually get Devil Trigger rather than losing it. It's either that or you don't waste it. I think I've read that somewhere, but at the very least you do maximum damage and murder people. But it has a long build up and you're vulnerable the whole time you're trying to build up the uppercut. So it has its trade-off. The other move is a decloaking move for enemies such as the Fausts and the Mephistos. You're going to see me do that move up here. It was just because I wanted to test it out, figure out what buttons made it work properly. So we're going to go into this room. I believe we're going to have some dogs. Okay, so this move, that's the move I was talking about. With the Gunslinger on, you press right bumper away from your character, and then, wait a second. No. It's right bumper plus forward on the left analog stick plus B. And that will get you that move. Instantly decloaks enemies. Because with Dante, we don't have the ability to throw. We don't have a very powerful charge shot. His charge shot has it's a quantity. So if you have charge shot level 3, you can charge, you could fire off about 5 charge shots, 5 or 6. Charge shot level 2 lets you fire off at most 3, and then I think charge shot level 1 you only fire 2 off. So it's not that the charge shot gets stronger, it's that you get more shots. That's how that works. So it differs from Nero in that respect. That's the most noticeably different thing about it. The only downside about the move with the Gunslinger and the Lucifer is that it takes him a long time to put his attaché case back. But it's not a problem after you've decloaked enemies, but it is a problem here because the Gradiuses that have fallen to the ground from that move will get up and start flying around again. So it's not a good idea to use it here. Now, when you want to send the projectile back from the Alto Angelos and the Nilo Angelos, I mean not that, but you know, the 2 Angelos, you can do the charge shot, but it's harder to do it because it has a spread that's random. Or you can do the prop shredder, which is just a B button hold. Now, I assume everybody has all the styles up to max, which I do too, except for the Trickster, because I don't think I use it. But if you need help with the Gradiuses, the shotgun will take them down the quickest. And his drive is not good for crowd control, but it is good if you just want to spam it over and over and over again. I will try my best not to spam it too much, but it's one of the few moves that he has that's dependable. Now, if you want to do the million stabs sword, the million stabs, it's Y. So I think it's Y pause YY. He's just got so many moves that I don't even know what they all are, to be literally honest. I just use what I know that works and which I'm comfortable with. Like, I won't even use the Lucifer. Because it's the Gilgamesh, the red one that I use. So what I really wish you could have is, I wish you can have it so that instead of cycling through 3 weapons, I wish that you can take one off and just cycle through 2. That would be extremely helpful. I mean, it's probably something that never even occurred to them. But I get caught so many times just cycling through the weapons that, you know, it really destroys me. So this is the final checkpoint of the chapter. So if you die anywhere from here to the final part, you'll have to start all the way back here before the timer. And you can actually skip that. You can skip this part if you want to. If you want the gold orb, just get it and then save your progress. And then, what would you do? I guess save your progress and then hit this and then allow yourself to be killed in the elevator, then restart after you die. And you can actually float over this with the gunslinger, but you will have had to. You need to build your disaster gauge all the way up with the gun and the Pandora for you to be able to float across. If you want a tutorial on that, see the corresponding video in my guide for DMC4. I show you exactly how to do it. I go over the disaster gauge, and because it exists over there, I'm not going to be going over it, because everything that I talk about there will help anybody who just needs some instant knowledge about it, and it's all its different functions. So this room here was pretty difficult for me. We have these frosts here. Without a throw, things are very difficult. However, you can use the real impact and deal massive damage on these guys. I was running into a couple problems here, which you might too. That is, not knowing where his back is located amongst all these enemies. So a lot of the times, I'll do that downward punch because I pressed the analog stick in the wrong direction. And other than that, it's either that the hit won't connect or you get interrupted because it takes a few seconds to charge it up. But once it charges up and you make contact and you press the double trigger, enough, at intervals like right here, you feel like $1 million. So I just kind of go with my own feeling when I tap on the double trigger when you're doing. So what it is it's a Gilgamesh move with the guns, with the Swordmaster at level 4, and it's right bumper plus back, and then the B hold until he charges and lets go. And when you're doing the uppercut, like I did right there, if it makes contact, then he will do the full uppercut. And while you're in the uppercut animation, there are certain frames that you're supposed to do to maximize your damage. And I honestly don't know what those frames are. I've seen a great tutorial on YouTube about it, but I just kind of go with my own feeling, and that's what I'll always do. Now down here you want to use this move, Gunslinger with the Pandora. I don't know what level it's on, so just have all your levels maxed out so you don't miss any moves. And again, it is right bumper plus away from you plus the B button. It's not a hold. Pressing away from you does that spaceship, and the spaceship is It's okay. I mean, it gets you to different places. Like, to get the final golden orb, you'll need the spaceship. I know it's not really a spaceship, but that's just what I call it. So, I expected a shit ton of enemies down here, but they pretty much keep it as it is on the other difficulties. And maybe that's out of consideration for the fact that we have a timer going down. But I was amazed when that was the last enemy right there. And very grateful, actually. Because I thought, quite honestly, I thought they were going to put 20 Fausts down here. And I wouldn't have minded that, except for the fact that, we only have 5 minutes left. So, we're going up here now. There is a combat adjudicator you can get with Dante. And in my previous guide for Dante Must Die, I suggested that if you want to, you could secure the checkpoint outside of the destroyed castle and come back in here, but you can't. Once it's destroyed, you can't come back in here. So I apologize for that, but I am correcting that verbally right now. Okay, so a couple of orbs from there, and trust me, there is no checkpoint anywhere. What happened to the show? It all of a sudden just stopped? Oh, come on, that's the beginning of it. Just fuck it. Fuck it, man. Okay, so we have 4 minutes down here. What I would suggest that you do is... I wouldn't wait around for them to do the projectile, but I've never missed with the prop shredder, and I've done it like 3 times, so I guess my time for missing it is coming up, but it's a lot more reliable than the spread of the shotgun. I think they did it at one point, but they were off screen and I wasn't even prepared for it, and then I was trying to cycle through all the guns like a madman, and it just was an ultimate failure. So I just would use the distorted real impacts on these guys here. So it's called Devil Trigger Real Impact, Devil Trigger Distortion. It goes by several names. The move is called Real Impact. So we're running out of time here. We need to clear these guys, and I almost perished down here because I had no life. Damn, there's a lot of these guys. And at one point, conveniently, they started to go into that kamikaze mode, and they all fenced their way across the screen with that javelin move, and then right here, they're all going to perish. Very convenient. Okay, so whenever you seeing me, oh, there it is right there. I was trying to get that to work, but basically, whenever you see me throw those spears, whatever they are, those detonators, it's because I'm trying to cycle through weapons, and I'm invariably throwing them, and I don't want to. So, not a bad chapter. It's, once you get used to the character, he becomes very, very capable. I mean, okay, so here I'm almost dead, so I got to be very careful. And because I'm not using items, I didn't heal. So I have yet to use an item, and I don't believe I will be using items. So the drive killed some enemies, and we got this drop. Now you might say to yourself that, oh, you got that drop, you are healing. But how the hell can you control that, quite honestly? You can't. So one more real impact, and that's done. There's an edit over here because the cache of orbs by the wall, it does not here for this character. But I think you might get a checkpoint out here, but there's no way you could die over here. So that's it. I think I got most nearly all of the orbs. I must have missed some, but I did still get an S rank for that. And that's it for this chapter. I will see you guys in chapter 13. Take care now.